students, welcome to virtual class of Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai Education Department. I am Mrs. Akshita Kale and today we will learn English. Come on students, let us begin our lesson.
Subject is English of Standard 5th and name of the poem is A Lark. Yes, dear children, lark means a bird, a very small bird. Many species of this we can find in Africa and only one species we can find in America. Yes, dear children, lark is also called a songbird. Okay, or a early bird, and mostly it is brownish in color. Yes, here the poet talks to a lark. He asks some questions to lark. Okay, we will go through the poem. This is a page from your textbook, page number 71. A lark. Yes, dear children, here we can see two stanzas, isn't it? Here in this stanza, the poet talks to the lark, and here the poet talks to the goldfish. Got this? Now, once we will go through. Lark bird, soaring high, are you never weary? When you reach the empty sky, are the clouds not dreary? Don't you sometimes long to be a silent goldfish in the sea? See here, questions were asked to the lark bird by the poet. Goldfish, goldfish diving deep, are you never sad, say? When you feel the cold waves creep, are you really glad, say? Don't you sometimes long to sing and be a lark bird on the wing? The poet's name is Lawrence Alma Tadema. Okay. Now here in the second, he asked to the goldfish. Okay. We will go through by stanzas. Here is our poem, A Lark. Lark bird soaring high, are you never weary? When you reach the empty sky, are the clouds not dreary? Don't you sometimes long to be a silent goldfish in the sea? Yes, dear children, here soaring high means flying high. Okay, and see a lark bird. Lark is a bird, very small bird. Lark bird soaring high means you are flying high. Are you never weary? Are you never tired or exhausted? Here the poet is asking the lark bird. You are always flying high. Are you never tired or are you never exhausted? When you reach the empty sky, are the clouds not dreary? Means you don't feel the dull and boring clouds. Okay, he is asking to the lark bird. Don't you sometimes long to be a silent goldfish in the sea? Means you don't want to become here long to be means badly wish to do something. Okay, yeah, don't you sometimes long to be? You don't wish to become a goldfish in the sea? Yes, here the summary of this first stanza is nothing but the poet asks the lark, which is flying high in the sky, whether it is never tired or exhausted. He asks if it doesn't find the clouds very boring in the empty sky. The poet wonders if the lark doesn't sometimes wish to be a silent goldfish in the sea. Got this, children? Okay. Now here we can see some rhyming pairs. We will encircle them. See in the first line, high. Okay. The high rhymes with the sky. You know the meaning of rhyming words, correct? They sound similar, isn't it? Rhyming words are the words which sound similar. Now in the second line we can see very, right? It rhymes with dreary. Very, dairy. Next, B rhymes with C. Okay? Got the meaning of first stanza? We will move to second stanza. Now in this first stanza, poet talked to the lark bird, isn't it? Now in the second stanza, see this, he talks to goldfish. You can see here goldfish, golden in color. Okay? Goldfish, goldfish, diving deep, are you never sad, say? Always you are diving, are you never sad? When you feel the cold waves creep, are you really glad, say? See, cold waves, the meaning tells you, correct? You really becomes glad? He is asking. Don't you sometimes long to sing and be a lark bird on the wing? Then he talks to the goldfish diving deep into the sea. Is the goldfish never sad? Is it really happy when it feels the cold waves creeping towards it? He wonders if the goldfish doesn't sometimes longs to sing and be like a lark in the flight. Got this, children? Here the poet's name is Lawrence Alma Tadema. Okay. Now here also we can see some rhyming pairs. See here deep, creep, then sad, glad, sing, wing. Altogether we can find 6 pairs of rhyming words, isn't it? Very simple and small poem. Yes, dear children, we will try to sing this song. Okay, a lark. Lark bird soaring high, are you never weary? When you reach the empty sky, are the clouds not dreary? Don't you sometimes long to be a silent goldfish in the sea? Goldfish diving deep, are you never sad, say? When you feel the cold waves creep, are you really glad, say? Don't you sometimes long to sing and be a lark bird on the wing? Yes, dear children, try to sing in rhythm. Okay, I have tried, but I don't think that is up to the mark. Okay, now here we will go through the hard words. Very. Here, very means tired. or exhausted. You can see the two pictures, right? Tired or exhausted. Next is dreary, D-R-E-A-R-Y. The meaning is dull and boring. Here this word is used to the clouds. Here on the wing. Yes, you can see the picture. On the wing means flying. Now dear children, here four question answers are there. We will go through them. First, answer the following questions. These are from your textbook. Okay. First one, write what the lark does. Yes, what it is doing? Yes, the lark soars high in the sky. It is flying high in the sky. Write what the goldfish does. The answer is the goldfish dives deep into the sea. It is written in the poem, isn't it? The next question is, what does the poet want to know from the lark? Yes, here in this poem, the poet asks some questions to the lark, isn't it? Yes, here what he wants to know from the lark? The answer is the poet wants to know whether the lark is never tired or exhausted, and if it doesn't find the clouds very boring in the empty sky. The poet wonders if it doesn't sometimes wish to be a silent goldfish in the sea. Fourth question is, what does the poet want to know from the goldfish? How he asked the questions to the lark, like that only he asks the questions to goldfish. Here also he asks, he wants to know if the goldfish is never sad. Is it really happy when it feels the cold waves creeping towards it? He wonders if it doesn't sometimes long to sing and be like a lark in flight. Okay, here long to be means badly wish to do something. Sometimes we long to be to have the ice cream. Correct? Like that. Okay? Yes, dear children, this is all about our poem A Lark. Now we will move to the grammar part. Yes, here today we are going to learn about the articles. Okay, it is very easy. See articles. Here articles in English there are three articles. Only three articles are there. Got this? They are a, an, and the. Remember this. Only three articles a, an, and the. We will study about these in detail. See articles. There are two types, means these three articles are differentiated in two columns, indefinite articles and definite articles. Indefinite, the word only tells us there is no, nothing is definite. Correct? Indefinite. So that is used for general things. And definite articles, that is for specific things we use. See, that is the. We use the for a specific things or a definite thing. Got this? And we use a or an to the indefinite things. Okay. See, first we will study about A. Here, A is used in front of singular countable nouns. You know, the nouns means a person, a name of a person, animal or thing. Correct? Which are not specific. Second is here only. We don't use A before uncountable or plural nouns. We can use A only for a singular countable nouns. Okay. Next thing is, if a noun starts with consonant sound like B, C, D, F, J, K, L, M, N, etc. Okay, then A comes before that noun. We will go through some examples, then it will become very clear for you. Say this is a book. What we say? A book. See the consonant sound B, correct? This is a noun, book is a noun, right? Name of a thing, that is book. So here a book. This is countable. Only one book is there. And this is singular. One book. So we say a book. A cat. A house. A bike or a motorcycle. A table. A doctor. See, these are all singular countable nouns, isn't it? So we used A before these words. Now we will go through an. A-N, an. An is used in front of singular countable nouns. That is the same thing here, person, animal or thing's name, which are not specific. We don't use an before uncountable or plural nouns, same as A. If a noun starts with vowel sound, that is A, E, I, O, U, then an comes before the noun. Okay, this is special for this. Okay, rest all same as A, but only when the word or the noun that sounds with vowel, then an comes before that word. Okay, examples: an orange. They see here O, correct? The sound starts with O. A, E, I, O, U. You know that these are vowels, right? So an orange. An elephant, right? An old man. An hour. Here H is there in the beginning, but it sounds hour. Okay, vowel sound is there. So an ant. Okay. Now next one is the. This is a definite article. We use the before all nouns to describe something or someone unique or specific, whether the noun be countable or uncountable, singular or plural. Got this, children? Only thing is the word or the thing should be definite or unique or specific. Here, the sun, single, correct? Unique. the sun. The earth. Only one is there. The earth. The clouds. The cloud. The aeroplane. Okay. Fill in the blanks by using a or an or the. Here we can see 5 fill in the blanks. Okay. We have to think and we have to fill these blanks with a or an or the. See, we will go through first one. There is dash pizza. There is, yes, we have to use a or an or the. There is a pizza. Very good. This is dash onion. This is an onion. Correct? This is an apple. Right? Next, dash weather is pleasant. What use a and the? Correct. The weather is pleasant. Dash, sun rises in the east. Yes, the sun, you know that, unique. Correct, the sun rises in the east. That is dash peacock. That is a peacock. Right, singular and countable. Got this, children? Yes, thank you, children. Try to learn this poem. Okay, which is on page number 71.
Thank you very much for being a part of this lesson. Please subscribe to our channel and press bell icon to get new updated videos.